Well, hello and welcome back to my wood shop here in the big woods of northwest Missouri. So good to have you along today. Today we're going to be looking at part 3 of our Kreg Pocket Hole 720 Jig Tool Review. We're going to be focusing today on final thoughts, overall impressions, and recommendations. So let's get started. Well, welcome back. We're going to conclude today with our box opening demo that we did, our little tool review of the Kreg Pocket Hole Jig 720 Pro. You can see I've got things laid out which comes with it, so just a real quick overview. You've got the main jig part here, this adjustable Auto Max they call it, and it really does do a good job, and I would say this is the #1 feature of this jig. As I mentioned before, it goes from 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1.5 inch material. No adjustments. You put it in there and it just clamps it down no matter what you're doing. Clamps it down nice and tight. You do have a little adjustment screw on here to either give you a little bit more or a little bit less. So a nice feature there. It has a nice stop on it that you can lock in any position that you want. And I found that to be pretty accurate. It's not too bad. It's got a nice vacuum system to it. Hooks right up, sucks those chips out. I tried it without it, and I tried it with the vacuum system. It works much nicer, cleaner with that little vacuum system. If you have a 2-inch hose, they have a nice adapter that automatically comes with it. That's included with it, I should say. But for the most part, this is real nice. It has this little depth gauge on it so that you can actually measure your material. The little hex head on here is used to adjust the collar. And on the bit itself, it's got increments for 1.5 inches, 3/4, and 1/2 inch, and you just loosen that little screw and adjust that collar exactly where you need it. So I found that to be extremely helpful. Just line up the holes, little circles there, and just tighten that down. And you got it. Now set for 3/4 now. It also comes with a couple of driver's bits, square driver bits, a short one and a longer one. The wings are nice on here as well. And like I said, if I was I'm gonna probably mount this to a board. Maybe with some handles on it so that I can lift it back and forth and maybe hang it when I'm done. So a lot of things I like about this little jig here that's really nice. You know, the little slide up wings and latch in there. So all that is just really nice features on this jig here. It's got a nice clamp, bench clamp here that just clamps that jig down, jig bench clamp. You can clamp it to a bench or table, whatever you want to do with it. Also comes with some extra screws here, and as I demonstrated earlier, you can go all the way from 1/2 inch to 3/4, and I found the jig is pretty accurate, as I mentioned, to 1.5 inches. It did mention in the little owner's manual here, it mentioned that when you put this together, that you put a little stop board behind it and clamp it, which I did here. And you slide your piece that you're going to be driving into against that and clamp that. And I did that and I had no trouble at all. It just went together very smoothly. And as I demonstrated a little bit earlier, that's a tight fit. That's a really good tight fit. You can see I'll take these clamps off. I'll have the camera come in here just a little closer. But you can see here, those 3 holes. I've got the little 2.5 inch screws in it, which is what the book recommended for 1.5 inch material. And that is a strong joint. You're not going to break that joint very easily. That's one strong joint. So looking forward to actually doing a few projects with this, and in coming videos you'll get to see me do that. Let me mention also about the little book, owner's manual. Very handy. I would recommend, if you get one of these, that you take the book out first thing, read it cover to cover, everything in it, and that's just going to help you along the way, especially if you've never had a Kreg jig, which I've never had one. So this is my first time using one. But it's got a lot of good helpful information in it. For the most part, it's very clear. The only thing that wasn't real clear was the how the bit went in, and it was just, I was a little bit skittish because I had never had one of these. And so I didn't want to just drill through it without knowing. But as I mentioned to you, as soon as we emailed them, they got back to us, and we were good to go. So, most part, my recommendation on this tool would be, it's a great tool. I think the price at the store was listed at $149.98. Nice price for a good tool, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of assembly work. I could see how this would really speed things up. Well, thank you so much for coming along. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video that we did. A little demonstration, tool review. If you like what you're seeing here, give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, subscribe, and tell folks that you know to come join us. Thanks again for coming. Until we meet again, happy chips.